Hey, y'all, welcome back. I have another case study episode for you. And this one is probably one of the ones that I have looked most forward to since she joined Systems in Session at the end of 2025. Now, once we get to talking, you're going to realize why it was so important for me to chat with Danielle about her Dubsado journey specifically. But welcome to the podcast, Danielle. How are you this morning?
Hi, Coley. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
I'm so thrilled to have you. So, first of all, listening audience, Danielle is currently, 45 minutes north of my house. She lives near me. She is definitely the closest Systems in Session client that I have ever had. And so it's just interesting to me that she's just, right up the way. I could get in my car and literally drive to her. But Danielle came to me and joined Systems in Session because she wanted to learn how to do Dubsado herself. And she came to me after she had already had part of her systems set up by someone else. Now, I do want to start this conversation by saying the person that she hired is wonderful. That is not what this conversation is about. It is not where we were going. She had a system that worked, but yet and still, she still wanted to join Systems in Session. So Danielle, talk to me about your decision to hire someone to set up your inquiry and booking processes to start. Like, what were you feeling when you reached out to hire someone else instead of just trying to do it yourself?
Yeah, so I was interested in Dubsado for a really long time, but the thing that kept me from fully switching over is how overwhelming it was. I had no idea how to build a workflow. I was completely intimidated by it. So I was using another sort of CRM for a long time that was photography specific, but I am a photographer and doula, so I needed a more robust system that could be more customizable, and Dubsado was it, but I needed help. So yeah, I did hire another system specialist, and she set up my initial onboarding workflow. So from like lead capture to booked.
Mm-hmm.
And she did a phenomenal job. I mean, my proposals look
They're
incredible.
gorgeous, guys.
They're gorgeous. And I wish I knew how she did it, because I can't even begin to replicate how they look. But what I was finding is, because somebody else did it for me, I did not know how to go in and customize it and make changes. I mean, she did provide me with like video walkthroughs of everything. She was very thorough, but because I wasn't the one that went in and built, each of those actions in the workflow, I still felt really lost within my own system. So that's what led me to doing Systems in Session. First of all, I needed to build out the rest of my workflows. So like I said, that first hire was just through booking, and, I need a whole customer journey. And yeah, I didn't want to feel stuck and lost within my own system. I needed to be able to make changes as things came up. I have a lot of different services. I have a lot of people needing like custom proposals, for example, that I need to be able to do on my own without reaching out for support every time. So that is what led me to Systems in Session.
Yeah, guys. So Danielle finished Systems in Session about 4 months ago, and I have only heard from her one time. And the one time that I heard from her, it was not her fault. It was a Dubsado bug, which once this Dubsado bug is resolved, maybe it will be resolved by the time this episode airs. I'll talk about what that bug is. But when she sent me the note, I was like, okay, Danielle, I'm so sorry. This has nothing to do with you. This is a Dubsado problem. So here's what I would do to mitigate it in the meantime. But it literally brings me so much joy that I do not hear from my Systems in Session people. I mean, I've talked about this on the podcast. I believe it was Roxanne. Right after she finished Systems in Sessions, she sent me this really paranoid message. I was on my way to the airport. I'm literally doing an SOS call in the car while my husband's driving. And she's like, oh my gosh, I broke everything. And I'm like, you broke nothing. This is what you did. Don't do this again. And then she just went forward. But it's really nice to me that now my clients that are coming out of systems in session don't need to come back to me. Like they've got this. And Danielle, what kind of changes have you made to the initial systems that you created for yourself at the end of last year?
Just little things within the workflows, mostly like timing within them, or like the order of some things. I have a really long client journey because I'm a doula. So sometimes people hire me at 6 weeks pregnant, and then their client journey is going all the way through 6 weeks postpartum. So, you know, what's that? Almost a year, really. So I have a lot of steps in the workflows, and I'm able to just go in and tweak timelines as needed. That's probably the biggest thing, is just changing around timelines. Or if it's a third time client and I've attended 2 of her births already, I'm able to go in and just easily, without a second thought, change her questionnaire to, make sure she's not asking or answering any redundant questions, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I love that you are able to do that for yourself now and that you don't have to come back and ask me. So you don't just do birth photography and doula services, which, I mean, I was so excited when I helped you put all that together because, hello, I miss babies. But you were also moving into doula education. And so that was one of the other offers that you were setting up inside of Dubsado. So my question to you is, have you finished setting up that customer journey?
Almost. The onboarding piece is completely, fully functional for all of the mentor options that I have. So I do birth photography and doula coaching calls, which they can find on my website. It looks amazing. They can just go, book a call, pay the invoice, and it shows up on my calendar. Then Dubsado sends them a questionnaire doing a deeper dive in how they want to spend their 90 minutes with me. And it's so seamless. And then the other bigger piece that I'm really excited about is the hands-on doula mentorship experience. So that is again, longer client journey. I mean, she hired me, I want to say back in January.
Mm-hmm.
We will be attending her student birth together next month. So yeah, I mean, that's going really well. I need to go in and probably build another workflow for finishing up that journey, and then like the post support stuff. So feedback questionnaires and that kind of stuff. So
but
it's
I mean,
been going
you're probably
really
going to
well.
be able to use what you got from your doula and your birth photography and just kind of switch the questionnaires. Like you've already built that
Absolutely.
once, Danielle. That's not going to be the hard part. And you're like, well, it's kind of done. I mean, girl, you need to give yourself a pat on the back because you did. I mean, I helped you set up one call scheduler, I believe. And look, you've duplicated it for multiple other calls and everything is seamless, as you said. And it is perfectly acceptable for you to kind of build it as you go. I mean, because you weren't quite sure how like the doula mentorship was going to go when we first spoke 4 months ago. I mean, now that you're in it, I'm sure you have a much better idea of what it is that you want to do with them. But, the one thing about systems is your systems are meant to be flexible. And so as you change what you're doing, or as you add additional services, additional steps, additional actions, you can just slip them into what you've already got and, use it. And then if you need to modify it in the future, you are able to do that. But I have not had any other panicked SOS calls from you about not knowing how to do what it is that you want your Dubsado to do for you.
Absolutely. And I will say that piece of my workflow for doula mentorship, it's not built out because I'm nervous to do it. My attitude towards the system has totally changed. It's not done because I am procrastinating. but the thoughts in my head are, oh, I'll just do that while I'm, watching a movie one night because it's going to be easy and only take a few minutes, is like how that's actually going through my head, versus before it's not happening because I don't know how and I can't do it by myself. So huge change.
I'm so proud of you. Now, you purposely didn't say what you were using before. I'm curious because honestly, at 7 a.m. when we're recording this, I can't remember. What were you using before you switched to Dubsado?
I was using Pixieset.
Okay.
So that's where I still use Pixieset for gallery hosting. I think they do a really beautiful job of that. They have some, I don't even think I would really call it a CRM. There are no automations, but they do have some limited, they call it like studio manager tools. So they can send contracts, they can send invoices. Obviously, they can send galleries. So, but what that was looking like is I was manually, going in, sending one email with their contract, sending one email with their invoice. They do have automatic payment reminders on those invoices, so that was nice, but that's about the extent of what Pixieset offers. I know they are putting in a lot of effort to make that system more robust, so this is not, speaking bad about Pixieset in any way, but the automation, not having the automations was getting really difficult for me to stay on top of my client journey. Like I said, it's really long. So making sure none of those little tasks and actions slip through the cracks.
I just now realized why I didn't know that you had Pixieset before was because you were already in Dubsado. And the funny thing is, I am about to interview one of my clients, Jordan, which, listening audience, if that episode is already published by the time Danielle's goes live, it will be listed in the show notes. But I do have a wedding photographer that I worked with. Actually, he was my first client in Systems in Session in 2026. And he came over from Pixieset. And Danielle, I have a habit of interrupting you guys when you talk, right? I mean, I do it. I apologize after. But Jordan was walking me through his process of booking a wedding inside of Pixieset because that's what he also used. And I stopped him and I said, nope, I don't need to hear anything else. You have already told me like 20 manual steps that you will not be doing in Dubsado. Let's just put that in a box and say, things we will never, ever do again. And then we just moved on and we started planning his stuff in Dubsado. And again, Pixieset is great. Pixieset allows you to do websites. They allow you to do galleries. And they have what they call studio management. But often I get people that ask me, okay, but Coley, do I really need Dubsado? And at this point, I'm not even going to say Dubsado. I'm going to say what I consider to be real CRMs, which would be Dubsado, Honeybook, 17 Hats. All of these have robust automations that you just don't get when you are using what I would call studio management or just booking software. And they have a place. I mean, especially if you're just jumping in and you don't quite have, like a lot of clients or a very long customer journey or any of these things. I always feel like the tool I want you to use is the one that you're going to actually use. But when you bump into this is not enough automations, I am losing people because I have so many steps and I'm not remembering to do them. When you start feeling that way, it's time for you to look at a real CRM. And Dubsado is my favorite. But actually, I don't care if you choose any of the other ones that will give you automations and take things off your plate, because your CRM should never feel like it is a second job. It should feel like it is an unpaid employee. Well, I mean, technically you're paying it, but you're not paying anything near what you would pay a human to manage the same things.
Absolutely. Yeah. So for example, my initial booking, my lead capture, essentially, when somebody reached out when I was using Pixieset for birth support, I always require we need to do a virtual consultation before you can book. So I would manually write an email back to them, inviting them for a consultation. Then we'd go back and forth a couple times trying to find a time. Then I would manually go over to Zoom or Google Meet, make a meeting, copy the link, email that to them. I mean, I know, it's embarrassing.
This is the point where I told Jordan, I want you to stop. And it's funny because now that I'm thinking about it, I really should have let him continue on that call so that then I could have had a thorough list of all of the things that he was doing manually. Now you're reminding me, Danielle, I should really go back and listen to that call and see how many manual steps he listed before I was like, you are giving me a headache. That is just so many manual steps.
Yep. I mean, should I keep going? Then we would have our consultation. Then, if I didn't hear from them, it'd be manual check-ins. Then if they wanted to book, it would be manual contract, manual invoice. I mean, I should have tracked time. I should have clocked in and out when I was doing these things because it was a significant amount of time just getting somebody to book. That's not even starting their official booked client journey. So yeah, Dubsado has been a game changer. I mean, to get somebody to the point where they can get on my calendar for a consultation, I'm checking a box. I'm hitting the check mark next to the to-do task, and that's it.
And
Usually
that's
I'll go in and edit that email to, respond to something specific that they may have included to make it obvious that I'm a real person who has read their inquiry. But I mean, that's a 15-second thing.
Yeah.
And then I hit check and it's in their inbox ready to go. So that has been a game changer for me.
So what else has having these new systems enabled you to do? Because the funny thing is, I don't really talk about the results, and it is hysterical. You are someone, I mean, you did tell me that it made you very confident in terms of going in and like modifying things. But so many of my previous systems and session clients have said, oh my God, it gave me confidence. And finally, Kara, who is in systems and session, is also my blog writer. She's like, Holy, I would not pay you $2,500 for confidence. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask you, Danielle, besides the confidence to tweak your own systems, what did completing your customer journey and really maximizing those automations inside Dubsado, what did they give you inside of your business, or maybe even in your personal life, if that has been more important?
Well, first of all, shout out to Kara because she's done some blogs for me too, and she is amazing.
She is mine. You can only have her temporarily. I'm sorry. I feel the need to say that.
Deal. I have so much more time so I do work, obviously. I run this business, but when I'm not doing that, I'm home with my kids. And I feel like it's given me the freedom to be more present with them. I mean, I'm not spending those hours, literal hours a week, what I just described to you, back and forth trying to get people booked or, just at any point through the customer journey. It's given me back time. I find myself way less stressed out because I know that those things are being taken care of even when I'm not in front of my screen, and I'm able to be a more present mother. As, maybe corny and sentimental as it sounds, it is true.
I think it's great. I mean, the thing is, I always say, don't compare where I am now to where you are, because I think one of the and actually you asked me this, by the way, to do in a frequently asked questions episode, and that is still coming. But you asked me about outsourcing at one point. That was what you submitted for a question. And the thing is, everybody always asks me, well, Coley, like, how did you get to where you are? And I'm like, okay, but like, you're seeing me 13 years in business. I was like, my business looked very different when Chloe was literally on my back in a wrap when I was editing photos. I mean, we were discussing this before we hit record. I have a 15-year-old. I have all the time in the world. I mean, but I didn't get what I would consider to be a full week of work until, honestly, the year of the pandemic. And then we all know what a shit show that was. Like, that was the first time that I actually had a full, where my kid was in school every week and I wasn't necessarily going to her school to volunteer, multiple times a week. And then it wasn't until after, I stopped homeschooling and I stopped sending her to 2 schools. So guys, 8th grade is when I actually got a full week of work where I was not volunteering in a school and or I had my child home. So my business now looks very different than it did when I had a child that was Danielle's kid's age. And you're trying to figure out how to do all of the things that it takes to run a business in the margins of your kids' nap time. Because, I mean, your youngest joined us on a few calls, which you were always apologetic. And I'm like, no, can I just play with her on the screen? Because, again, I miss babies.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way of putting it, is in a lot of ways right now in the season, this work that I love does have to fit into the margins of motherhood. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe I did it so long without a system that was like supporting me in that, because there are a lot of things that can fall through the cracks, and I'm sure it did fall through the cracks, quite honestly. But yeah, it's been wonderful having this. So
you said it was taking you hours to book
Oh,
people
yeah.
before. Like, how long is it taking you from the time that someone inquires and then, they do their discovery call and then you send them the proposal and they book? Like, how much time are you spending on that process now?
Yeah. I mean, not including the 30 minutes that I'm actually sitting down chatting with them. The back end with the admin work is, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. I mean, I go in and, make sure that their proposal is somewhat customized. I make sure their invoice and their payment plans are set up how they want it. I make sure that, the language in the proposal and the proposal email are in alignment. And it usually is. Sometimes I make some very minor tweaks. And then I hit send.
10 minutes. I mean, that sounds great. That's what I want for everyone. And I mean, guys, she didn't say 5 minutes, but it's okay. I will take it because she actually does. She customizes more than most of my clients because of the length of when people are hiring her. Sometimes she has to go in and make sure that the payment plan, reflects someone booking her at 6 weeks pregnant versus 36 weeks pregnant. So, I mean, Danielle can have that extra 5 minutes. I'm actually very happy to give you that extra 5 minutes. But knowing that it's only taking you 10 minutes now is great. And for the rest of the journey, how much admin time would you say that you are spending? Let's say that it is someone who did your doula plus birth photography combo package. Other than calls, how much time are you actually spending managing the admin? So approving emails, looking at things, whatever it is that it takes from the time that they actually book until you deliver their final gallery.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had a way to accurately give you time. It is hardly anything. I feel like the booking process is probably the most high touch as far as the admin work. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take me any time to go into my app most of the time when my kids are playing happily at the park and hit approve on something, maybe 15 or 20 minutes through the whole client journey. Yeah. Cause I mean, before I was manually sending, for example, questionnaires. And then when they would naturally forget because they have busy lives, I would send a manual reminder, sometimes 2 manual reminders. This Dubsado is taking care of all of that for me. All the payment reminders, the questionnaire reminders. I mean, it's legit, guys.
And you know what? I love that you mentioned the app because the funny thing is half the time I forget Dubsado has an app. I mean, I really could have used the app when I was still managing my business in the car when I was waiting in the carpool lane. I could have used the app then. But now I'm no, I mean, my systems are so automated. I'm barely doing approvals and those kinds of things. So most of the time when I have to do something for Dubsado, I am literally sitting in this office at my computer. But I do know that my clients enjoy the app. I just don't get to hear you guys say that very much because, I mean, when you're in systems in session, you're always on a computer building your things. And so usually I don't get to hear about what you guys are doing with the systems after in terms of managing it on your phone, because that's always after you are, outside of systems in session and, the systems are actually doing the work for you, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I love the app. I mean, there are things that are missing from the app that I can't even think right now. I think I was trying to give somebody a partial refund a couple days ago, and I don't think I could do that on the app. I think I had to sit down at the computer and do it. But small things, checking off the to-do tasks, approving emails, countersigning contracts. I mean, I can do that so quickly as I see those emails come through on the app. And I can do that, like I said, when my kids are eating lunch really quickly without much interruption to my day. Just the app, having that access on my phone, because Pixieset did not have that at all. It was always, I had to go kind of sneak away and sit down on my computer. So being able to do that quickly and easily has been awesome.
I am curious, in your new systems, what's your favorite part? What's your favorite feature, your favorite asset, whatever it is? What is your favorite part of everything that you built?
Oh, gosh. One thing is coming to mind. Honestly, the whole thing's my favorite. So this is a hard question for me to answer. The I feel like the point in which I was like, oh my gosh, this is working and this is amazing and life-changing. So maybe not my favorite, but similar essence, is when I don't even think systems in session was done yet. I think I was still doing it with you. But I had a email come through that alerted me that my client had booked an appointment, and it was their 36-week birth photography prep meeting, which I don't have a ton of face-to-face interaction with my birth photography only clients if they're not also getting doula support. So I like to have that meeting to, just have some FaceTime with them before they deliver. And the notification came through that it was just done. They were on my calendar. All I had to do was show up. And I was like, honestly, to this day, when I still see those come through, I feel like surprised and giddy because I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to remember to schedule it. I didn't have to send them any links. I didn't have to send them any schedulers. Like all I had to do was show up and hit join. And that's my favorite part is,
getting a notification when your client has done the thing that they're supposed to do and you had no part of it. I will say I have my own. I mean, I don't remember what client it is, so thank God they won't remember either. But I remember the first time that I was at Disneyland and I was on Dumbo riding with Chloe. I don't know. I think that was the year that we went like every month for 14 months straight. But I got a notification that a questionnaire had been filled out. And when I looked at it, I didn't even know who the client was. Like, I saw the name and I was like, who is that? And then I was like, when do they have a session? Like, then I was clicking into to look and I was like, oh, okay, it's this one. But like, I hadn't talked to that person in so long that I literally forgot who they were and when their session was. But their questionnaire went to them automatically. I believe it was 6 weeks before they were due, like magic. And so I didn't have any part of that. And then I got the questions and then I got to review it and basically mentally prepare to, go and be part of that. And so same girl, same. I mean, getting those things is just awesome. And you had no part of it.
Exactly. And so to answer your initial question, what's my favorite part? My favorite part is that Dubsado is doing the shit that I literally forgot about that I needed to do. Because a lot of times I'll get notifications like that. And I was like, oh, snap. I'm so glad that this is done because I forgot that I had to do that. I don't actually have to do it anymore because Dubsado was doing it. But I did it manually for so long that, you know what I'm saying. It's taking a lot of the remembering off of my plate, and that it's the best.
Yes, it is. I mean, if there's somebody on the fence between doing it themselves, I guess with my help, let's say systems in session. If there is someone who's debating between hiring somebody to create these systems for them or doing it with like my guidance, hand holding, whatever, what would you tell them in terms of making the choice? And you know that you can't offend me because I've done both. I mean, but like, what to you is like the thing that people should consider in terms of being part of it versus outsourcing it completely?
Yeah, and I'm the perfect person to ask that question too because I was on the fence about doing both of those things. It was actually the exact same investment at the time to join systems in session or to outsource the rest of the building of my system. It was the exact same investment. And I was talking to my husband about this actually because I was like, I don't know what to do. It almost seems kind of silly to spend the same amount of money and then still have to do all of the work myself.
Yes. Yes.
That sounds a little crazy to me. But the reason I obviously did end up going with systems in session is because now I feel like in the future, I'm not going to have to invest any more money into Dubsado or, into learning Dubsado anyway, because that's what systems in session gave me. It was a one-time investment. And now I have the skills that I need to go in and make changes as I need to make changes versus I feel like if I had invested in completely outsourcing the build, I would be in the same boat that I was in and not knowing how to make any changes. And then I would end up spending more money in the long run.
I mean, and I'm not even sure, at least from my perspective, I don't even know that it would be the money for me. It would be I have to contact Coley and,
Mm,
schedule a call with her so that she can tell me how to do the thing. And that's just
yeah.
delaying you being able to do it. I don't know if you've heard the episode on this podcast yet where I talked about I hired someone to build out a Notion dashboard for me.
No.
Yeah. So I felt like you guys, and it was really good for me though to be on the other side. I mean, I hemmed and hawed. I was like, I'm pretty sure I want to move to Notion, but was really scared to leave Airtable. I have not left Airtable altogether. Systems in Session is still managed in Airtable, but with the expansion of my team between Kara and Sarah and Haley and Chelsea, Airtable was not good for our communication. So I knew that I needed something different, and I didn't have the skill set to learn Notion. And I was also like, but if I pay someone to set it up for me, I won't know how to make changes in the future. So I used She Creates Management, and I told her, I said, listen, I'm going to be a little different than your other clients. I was like, after you build something for me, I'm probably going to ask you how you did it and why you did it. I was like, because I have to know how the systems work because I just can't hand it over and then be like, oh, well, in the future, I don't know how to change anything. So near the end of my support with her, I was sending her, I was like, hey, I want to do this, but you are not allowed to do it for me. Can you make me a video and show me how I should go do it myself? And she was like, of course. And so, I mean, I do feel like I am very equipped inside of my own Notion. But the part that I loved about hiring her the most was it really put me in y'all's shoes. Like, I don't know that I've ever been on the other side of a systems build where I didn't understand it. And so I was like, oh, this is how my clients feel. I should make notes so that I make sure that like I am taking care of these things while I'm working with them. So it was just really eye-opening, I will say, to be on the other side as someone who hired someone else to set something up. And I really had no idea how Notion worked. Like, I was as dumb as a rock when it came to, I was like, I know it will do this, but I can't figure out where this step is for me to connect the two. Like, it was very frustrating. And I was like, oh, this is how my clients feel.
Yeah, it is how we feel. It's a humbling place to be.
Definitely. So, Danielle, what's next for your systems, for your business? I mean, are you happy with how everything is going, or are you still looking for some ways to like improve and save more time? Or are you like, no, I'm good where I'm at. This is where I'm going to coast for a while.
There are some small things that I need to go in and do. So when we were in Systems in Session together, as you know, we did the full doula birth photography journey.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go much into like my portrait work side. So I also do maternity and newborn and occasionally family, usually for my birth maternity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. There are some small things I need to go in and add to those client journeys as far as workflows go, mostly on like the after the session side, getting feedback questionnaires, that kind of thing. I haven't had a chance to sit down and build those out. Again, it's like not because I don't know how, it's because I'm procrastinating and I'm like, oh, I'll just do that. That'll be really easy and fast. So honestly, I should probably just do it.
Danielle, I'm feeling like you and I should finally meet in person so that I can hug you and we can have like some delicious brunch. And if you need, I am willing to sit next to you and do the accountability with you, because what you've described, I literally think that shit's going to take you 30 minutes. So you just really need to sit down and do it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. First of all, I would love to see you in person. That would be amazing. And you're 100% right. It will take me 30 minutes and I just need to... I'm like this in other areas of my life, okay? It's like the, little tasks around the house that you put off for months and then you do them and you're like, oh, that literally took me 7 minutes.
Oh, no.
I'll get there.
In the last 2 years, I feel like I have done more avoidance in my personal life, in my business. Like, no, it used to be that deadlines gave me motivation to do something. And no, now those kinds of things give me anxiety. And so then I avoid them to lessen my anxiety. It's like this vicious cycle. So believe me, I get it.
Yeah, I'll get it done.
You'll
hold me accountable.
Or I'll hold you accountable. All right, guys. This is yet another case study episode, and I really hope that you learned something different from Danielle than the other clients that I've had on this podcast, because I've had my own clients that have hired me for fully done for you, and I've had a couple of them come into systems in session. And if you had asked me if those people would need systems in session a year ago, I would have been like, are you crazy? No, they hired me. I did all the work for them. I showed them how everything works and I delivered it. But what my clients didn't have is what Danielle got, which is the confidence to make the tweaks on their own down the line. And while I do offer like a 30-day refresh for systems in session, and I have had a couple people come back for an extra 30 days when they were building something new or when they had so many offers that they wanted to make sure that they had the accountability to get it done. But in general, like Danielle said, systems in session is a one-time investment. We set up your signature offer. You end up saving the time and learning how to do that one offer from beginning to end inside of your tool. And then you have the skills and the knowledge to do it again and again and again for your other offers. But Danielle, thank you so much for coming to join me on the podcast, because I know that you were a little apprehensive when I was like, girl, don't you want to come on my podcast?
You're so welcome. Yeah, thank you for having me. I definitely was a little anxious to do this. I've never been on a podcast before, but I had a great time.
And guys, if you happen to be in our area and you're going to give birth, Danielle is awesome. Her photography is awesome. I am sure having her as a doula is awesome. And if you are not local and you are like, doula sounds kind of cool, I want to look at birth photography. Again, she set up her mentorship offers inside of Dubsado while she was in systems in session. So all of her links are in the show notes. Please check them out. All right, that's it for this episode. See you next time.